Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome dear students, first prep. In this lesson we will study congruence of the triangle. We know that the inner triangle has 6 elements, 3 sides and 3 angles. We can say the two triangles are congruent if each element of the 6 elements of one of them is congruent to the corresponding element in the other triangle. Example, if we have triangle ABC and triangle XYZ. If the side AB equal XY and EC equal XZ and BC equal YZ, and also measure of angle A equal measure of angle X, and measure of angle B equal measure of angle Y, and measure of angle C equal measure of angle Z, then all sides in triangle ABC is congruent or equal to all sides in the triangle XYZ, and also all angles in triangle ABC is equal to all angles in triangle XYZ. Therefore, the triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ. First case of congruence of two triangles, two sides and included angle, or side angle side. The two triangles are congruent if two sides and the included angle of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding part of the other triangle. In this example, we have triangle ABC and the triangle DEF, because that AB equal DE and BC, the length of BC, equal EF, it's congruent, and angle B, it's congruent to angle E. Therefore, the two triangles are congruent. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF because we have two sides and the included angle. We have EB and BC, and the included angle between these two sides is congruent to DE and EF and the included angle between them. Therefore, we can find the other three elements, the missing three elements. Then the side AC will equal or congruent to DF, and angle A will congruent to angle D, and angle C will congruent to angle F. The second case, two angles and included side. Two triangles are congruent if two angles and the side drawn between their vertices of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding part of the other triangle. In this two triangle, we have ABC triangle and DEF, because BC, the length of the side BC, equal length of the side EF, or congruent sides, and angle B is congruent to angle E, and angle C is congruent to angle F. Therefore, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF because we have two angles and included side between them. Angle, side, angle. Therefore, that side EB will congruent to side DE, and side AC will congruent to DF, and angle A will congruent to angle D. The third case of congruence of two triangles, that's three sides. Two triangles are congruent if each side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding parts of the other triangle. In triangle ABC and triangle DEF, because that AB equal or congruent to DE, and BC is congruent to EF, and AC is congruent to DF. Therefore, that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, SSS, or side, side, side. Then we can find the missing three angles. Then angle A will congruent to angle D, and angle B will congruent to angle E, and angle C will congruent to angle F. The fourth case of the two congruence of triangles, hypotenuse and one side in triangle, RHS. R its right angle, H hypotenuse, and S side. Two right-angled triangles are congruent if the hypotenuse and one side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding parts of the other triangle. We have two triangles, right? Triangle ABC is right angle triangle at B, and the triangle DEF is right angle triangle at E. The side opposite to the right angle, EC, it's called hypotenuse, and the side opposite to angle E, DF, it's also called hypotenuse. Because that EC and DF are congruent, they are hypotenuse, and BC, the side BC, it's congruent to EF, and the measure of angle B equal measure of angle E, it's equal 90 degree. Therefore, triangle ABC, it's congruent to triangle DEF because right edge is R and hypotenuse and side, right hypotenuse side. Therefore, that AB, the side AB, it's congruent to DE, and the measure of angle A will congruent to measure of angle of D, and angle C, it's congruent to angle F. Example number 1, if LZ it's equal LX, and the measure of angle Z equal measure of angle X equal 90 degree, and the measure of angle XYZ equal 50, measure of angle Y equal 50 degree, and the length of XY equal 7 cm. Complete the following triangle XYL is congruent to triangle. Of course, these two triangles are congruent because we have right angle and common hypotenuse YL. It's hypotenuse in triangle XLY and also hypotenuse in triangle ZLY. And we have a side XL, it's equal to ZL. Then triangle XYL will be congruent to ZYL because right and hypotenuse and side. Then YZ, the length of YZ will equal length of XY will equal 7 cm, and because that measure of angle Y equal 50 degree, then measure of angle XYL will equal measure of angle ZYL. We make the 50 divided by 2, then each angle will equal 25 degree. Then measure of angle XLY will equal measure of angle ZLY. And we know that the sum of any interior angles of any triangle equal 180 degree. And inside triangle XLY we have two angles. Angle X equal 90 degree and angle XYL equal 25. Then the third angle will equal 180 minus 90 plus 25 inside bracket will equal 65. Example number 2, BD it's equal to CD and measure of angle ADB will equal measure of angle ADC. Explain why does AD bisect to angle A. First, we must prove that these two triangles are congruent, and from congruence we will find that the measure of angle BAD, this angle, will congruent to angle CAD. Because these two angles are equal in measure, then AD bisects to angle A. Then because we have BD equal CD, it's first, and second we have measure of angle ADB equal measure of angle ADC. These two angles are equal, and because that AD is the common side, the length of AD in triangle ADB is the same length in the triangle ADC is common side. Therefore, triangle BDA will congruent to triangle CDA because that we have two sides and included angle in this triangle, and also we have two sides and the included angle, side angle side. From congruence we can find that AB will equal to EC and the measure of angle B equal measure of angle C, and the measure of angle BAD will equal measure of angle CAD. And because these two angles are congruent or equal in measure, therefore that AD bisect to angle A. Example number 3. In each of the following figures, show if the two triangles are congruent or not. If they are congruent, name the case of congruence. If they are not congruent, give reason. We have triangle ABE and triangle DEC that the length of DE equal length of AE and side BE equal side EC, and these two angles are equal. Measure of angle AEB equal measure of angle DEC. Therefore, these two triangles are congruent. Triangle AEB is congruent to triangle DEC because we have two sides and included angle, side. Number 2, we have triangle ABE and the triangle DEC. We have measure of angle B equal measure of angle C equal 90 degree, and the measure of angle A equal measure of angle D. And we have any sides are equal. Then the two triangles are not congruent because there is no corresponding side are equal. Number 3, we have two triangle ABC and triangle ADC. In these two triangles, we have that AC is the common side and the length of AD equal length of D of BC, but we don't have the included angle between these two sides. Then these two triangles are not congruent because the given angle, angle B and angle D, is not the included angle between the given sides. Example number 4, ABC is triangle and triangle ACD. We have AB, the length of AB equal length of CD, and the length of BC equal length of AD, and AC is the common side. Therefore, these two triangles are congruent because three sides in the first triangle is congruent or equal to three sides in second triangle, SSS. Example number 4, in the opposite figure, we have that BA equal BC and AD equal DC, and the measure of angle A equal 80 degree, and the measure of angle ABD equal 40. Find measure of angle ADC. We need all measure of angle D. First, we must prove that these two triangles are congruent. Then we can find measure of angle ADB and the measure of angle BDC. Then we can add these two angles. Because that AB equal BC and ED equal DC and BD is the common side, therefore these two triangles are congruent because side. From the congruence, therefore, that measure of angle A equal measure of angle C equal 80 degree, and the measure of angle ABD equal measure of angle CBD equal 40 degree, and measure of angle ADB will equal measure of angle CDB. And we know that the sum of the interior angles of any triangle equal 180. Therefore, measure of angle ADB and measure of angle CDB will equal 180 minus 80 plus 40 will equal 60 degree. Then this angle, two angles, each angle equals 60 degree. Therefore, the required angle ADC will equal 60 plus 60 will equal 120 degree. Example number 5. We have intersection between AB and CD at point M, and M is the midpoint of AB, and measure of angle A equal measure of angle B, measure of angle D equal 60 degree, and the measure of angle DMB equal 80 degree. Find measure of angle C. To find measure of angle C, we must first prove that these two triangles are congruent to find the missing angle. Because the intersection of AB and CD at point M, then the measure of angle AMC equal measure of angle DMB because they are vertical opposite angles or VOA. Second, because that M is the midpoint of AB, therefore that AM will equal BM. It's number 1. And because that measure of angle AMC equal measure of angle BMD, it's number 2. And because measure of angle A equal measure of angle B in given, this is number 3. Therefore, triangle AMC will congruent to triangle BMD because we have two angles and included side will equal two angles and included side, angle, side, angle. From the congruence, therefore, measure of angle C will equal measure of angle D equal 60 degrees. Example number 6, complete the following. Any two triangles are congruent if two sides and included angle of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding part of the other triangle. Number 2, any two triangles are congruent if two angles and, of course, and the included side in one of the triangle are congruent to their corresponding element in the other triangle. Number 3, any two triangles are congruent if each side is congruent to the corresponding side in the other triangle. Number 4, any two right angle triangles are congruent if hypotenuse and one side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding part of the other triangle. Number 5, the diagonal of rectangle, it will divide its surface into two congruent triangles. Number 6, if triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ, then the length of AB we take first and second letter, then will equal to XY. And the measure of angle Z will equal measure of angle C. Example number 7. In the opposite figure, we have AB equal AD and the length of BC equal CD. And the measure of angle BEC equal 30 degrees. Measure of angle ECB equal 110. Is triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ADC and give reason, then find measure of angle D. Because that AB equal AD in given and BC equal CD and AC is the common side between these two triangles, therefore triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ADC because side. From the congruence, therefore measure of angle BAC equal measure of angle DEC equal 30 degrees. And measure of angle ACB equal measure of angle ACD will equal 110 degrees. Therefore measure of angle D will equal measure of angle B equal 180 minus 30 plus 110 will equal 40 degrees. Example number 8. AB that equal AD and BC equal 5 cm. Measure of angle B equal 40 and BAC, measure of angle BEC equal measure of angle DEC. Prove that the two triangles are congruent. Then we need to find measure of angle D and the length of CD. Because that the length of AB equal length of AD and measure of angle BEC equal measure of angle DEC and we have AC common side. Therefore, these two triangles are congruent because side, angle, side. Two sides and included angle between them equal two sides and the included angle, side, angle, side. From the congruent, therefore, measure of angle D will equal measure of angle D equal 40 degrees, then measure of angle D equal 40. And CD will equal CB or BC will equal 5 cm. Example number 9. We have AB intersect with CD at point M and the length of AM equal length of BM and CM equal DM. CD, the length of CD equal 4 cm and the length of EC equals 3 cm. Thus, triangle AMC congruent to triangle BMD and Y, then find the length of BD and the length of CM. From the given, we have that AM equal BM and CM will equal DM, and we have two angles are equal. Measure of angle AMC will equal measure of angle BMD because they are vertical opposite angle. Then triangle AMC will congruent to triangle BMD because we have two sides and included angle between them, congruent to two sides and included angle, side angle side. Therefore, that measure of angle A will equal measure of angle B, and the measure of angle C will equal measure of angle D, and the length of BD will equal length of AC, and because that AC equals 3 cm, therefore BD equal 3 cm. And because that CM equal DM and the length of CD equal 4 cm, therefore CM equal DM equal 4 divided by 2 equal 2 cm. Example number 10. In the opposite figure, we have EB equal BC, and the measure of angle EDB equal 30 degree, and the measure of angle A equal measure of angle C equal 90 degree. Find with given reason measure of angle ADC, then find the length of AD. First, we must prove these two triangles are congruent to find the missing sides and the missing angles, because that we have EB equal BC its side, and we have measure of angle A equal measure of angle C equal 90 degree, and we have BD is common side or common hypotenuse between these two triangles. Therefore, triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD because RHS or right hypotenuse and side. Therefore, that triangle ADB will equal measure of angle CDB equal 30 degree. This angle equal 30. Therefore, measure of angle ADC will equal 30 plus 30 will equal 60 degree. And the length of AD will equal length of CD equal 5 centimeter. And the last angle, measure of angle ABD will equal measure of angle CBD. Thanks for watching, and the homework of this lesson in booklet page 83 and 84. Goodbye.